The tilt is real.
The tilt is real.
This is when the tilt is real.
Welcome to another episode of The Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Coming to you live from the chef's table, here are your hosts, James Crease and Juan Pena.
Let's go.
Welcome into the Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast. Okay, welcome in, everyone. This is the Tilt is Real Fantasy Football Podcast. It is Wednesday, October 28th, and we have a spooktacular episode for you guys this evening. Join with me at the chef's table, as always, co-host of the show, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena. How are you doing today, my scary friend?
I am scary today. I got the hoodie on, Chef. It's Halloween, man, and we're talking about fantasy football, so I'm doing fantastic, as always.
And coming out of the shadows, there was a scary producer who was looking like Rambo in a dark background. No, it's Mr. FF John Swanson himself. What's going on, big guy?
I'm here to win your league. Happy spooky time, boys. I'm excited. It's October. People are carving pumpkins. People are getting costumes, getting spooky. Leaves are on the ground. It's good times, man. There's a lot of candy. You have some candy, don't you?
I have.
Oh, Chef's ready with the candy.
I'm ready with the candy, guys.
Ready with the candy, guys.
Oh, it's candy time.
It's gonna be fun.
Candygram for
I
Chef.
can't wait.
Woo.
He's doing tricks over there. I love it.
Tricks and treats,
I look
man.
scary like that, right?
'Tis the
Not as
season.
scary as Mr. Swanson's
Yeah, I
background.
know, man. He's.
What?
I'm not a big fan
Whoa.
of scary movies.
Oh, I love
have,
them.
Have I ever told you that?
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, you
I
have.
don't. I don't wear.
like 'em.
I don't watch scary movies. They don't entertain me. Suspense, okay. Thriller, okay. But like chainsaws and long fingernails, it just doesn't do it for me, man.
I mean, the
All right.
gore, I understand. I'm on the other side of the ball. I'm what you would consider a horror movie connoisseur. I mean, to the point where I scoff at horror movies that are predictable, that are like, etc. I mean, I've really, my girlfriend and I have done the deep dive on the horror movies, and that's why it's so dark behind me right now. I'm actually doing this podcast in the woods.
What are you, Frank Duffy now?
Yeah, is that what he does?
Like Blair Witch
He
Project.
Does, he does his videos in the woods.
The Tilt Project.
Nature talks. It does look like that, though.
It's week
It
8.
really does.
We've been out here for.
By the way, that movie was never scary. That Blair Witch Project movie.
No.
Nah.
No,
Not
scary
scary.
enough for me that I didn't want to watch it.
All right.
Give me a headache. Maybe dizzy.
Yeah, it was poorly
Oh,
done.
shaky and whatever. I don't know.
All right, so now that the early banter is over, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today.
Indeed.
It is our 18th episode. We're excited to be here, as always, helping you win your leagues, answering any tilt questions you have live on the air for you. And we have a jam-packed show, weekly reel as usual.
Yep.
And then we have a monster mash of great Halloween-themed, fantasy-paired takes for you guys.
It is a graveyard smash.
He did the monster mash.
Yeah.
Match.
He did the monster mash.
Wow.
And then we will go into the waiver wire hero sheet, just in case you guys did not check that out.
The cheat sheet.
The cheat sheet.
That's the Konami code of waiver wire shows. Seriously, what you do every week, bro.
It's like Game
Like
Shark.
if people listened and people went out and got the guys that you put on, they could beat my team every week. They're
I'm
really good.
trying,
Really
dude.
good.
It's getting harder and harder as we get through every week due to the injuries, but the new injuries pop up and
Right.
new players are more
Right.
valuable. So I actually enjoy doing it this week.
You're crushing it
doing-
every
you've been
week,
killing it,
especially with all
man.
these buys, man. Yeah, you've been murdering that shit.
You've been
If
killing
there
it.
was
You know
like
what's fun
a
to do
waiver,
is-
if there was a contest like on DFS or something like that, where you can just go out and pick only RB3 to wide receiver 3s and
Yeah.
QB2s,
I did it last
week.
I'd win, dude.
All tier 6 guys when you do
Yeah.
that tier thing, like tier 5 guys, everybody.
Yeah, no captains. You got to take one of those and they lose half their points.
I
You know,
like
you
it.
play the back roll.
I like that.
I did a
It's been
DFS
working.
lineup last week with just our waiver wire heroes, and I was in the money, and I got beat out by Tyler Lockett.
Oh, Tyler Lockett killed
Everybody else right there, yeah. But like our
Yeah,
waiver
man.
wire heroes stood up in DFS. I was impressed. I was, this is cool, man.
You couldn't win if you didn't have him on your roster.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett killed everyone.
Yeah, 15 for 203 touchdowns doesn't happen every day. It's kind of nuts.
It probably won't happen again.
Probably more than likely it won't. Yeah.
Russell Wilson on pace for 66 touchdowns right now. Just want to say it could happen again.
Unbelievable.
That's a crazy number.
Yeah, that's pretty
Madden
wild.
numbers. That's Madden numbers.
True.
Those are
True.
fake.
Yeah, well, it's reality this year, man.
Oh, he's cooking.
He's cooking, man.
Mhm.
Let's just get into it.
Let's go.
It's the weekly reel, presented by the Tilt is Real. It's the weekly reel. Let me hear the news.
I thought my computer was bugging for a second because it got
Oh,
silent. I was on another screen checking something. I'm like, oh no! Did the Wi-Fi die?
No, the
Cool.
Wi-Fi is not dead, and neither is Aaron Jones, at least not yet, or his fantasy prospects. He did have a calf strain, and he still do not practice today, but it is Wednesday, so you can still hold out hope. But do pay attention, and Jamal Williams has been on the sheet, and you should be paying attention to the fact that Jamal Williams could be someone that you might want to own for sure. And I don't know if he's going to play. He had that strain going into last week's game, and there was a doubt that he might play against the Texans. And he went all the way up till the last minute. And at 11:30, we actually announced it live when Mr. Swanson jumped on the Sunday Tilt, and they let us know that he wasn't playing. So I thought he was closer to playing, but we'll see what happens going up. You're going to have to tune back into the Sunday Tilt and find out what's going on with Aaron Jones for Sunday's game.
And
For
that
sure,
goes,
because they might hold him out.
Yeah.
Just like the way they did with Adams. They don't
Yep.
let you come back if you want to play. The team's like,
No,
nah,
the Packers
sit.
they're pretty strict about that.
which is smart.
another running back that you might want to keep an eye on is Joe Mixon.
Yikes.
Indeed.
Did not practice today. Either way, if you should already have Giovanni Bernard on your roster. Tennessee, good matchup going forward. Not a bad opportunity for whoever is the running back in that system. Just keep an eye on Joe Mixon as well.
Yeah, another one to keep an eye on, and it's Mark Ingram in Baltimore. He didn't practice again Wednesday, and coming off a bye, that concerns you a little bit because you were hoping that he was going to be right, but it doesn't look that way. And you should have your eye on J.K. Dobbins if you don't already have him on your roster. You should have had him and Gus Edwards already rostered on your team, just in case Mark Ingram's ankle doesn't heal in time.
100%. Because that's another one. No, it's tough too because it was already tough to pick between the three of them,
Yeah,
and you've
this
never
makes
really
it a little bit easier
really,
now. I feel
It
like
doesn't,
it's
it
J.K.
doesn't.
Dobbins season.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely makes it easier because it's 2 rather than 3. But I mean, you would hope it's J.K. Dobbins season.
Great to
but
say.
Yeah, Chef's really happy about the
What?
J.K. Dobbins season.
good.
Yeah,
Good.
he
James
has
Crease,
Dobbins.
J.K. That's where the J.K. comes from, folks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
man, I got my guy JK. I'm JK.
Mm-hmm. J.K.
There's
It's Gus.
There's some scary trade rumors going around right now about 2 Houston Texans around the league, and those Houston Texans are Randall Cobb and Will Fuller.
I think they're packing it up. I think they're packing it in. They're calling it.
The Texans are calling it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And justly
I
so. Their
mean-
defense just can't get right, and they can't seem to get anything going. They have, fired their coach.
The
lost-
ghost of Bill O'Brien will loom over
Wow.
that franchise for the next 5 years.
It
Good
really
Ghost of
will.
Bob.
It'll loom over that
Ghost of
franchise
Bob.
until Hopkins retires. It'll
It's
be there.
interesting.
The curse will be lifted when Hopkins retires.
I think Hopkins pulls a Larry Fitzgerald and stays with the Cardinals for the next 20 years,
Yeah.
That'd be
It
awesome.
feels like it's 20 years. When will Larry Fitzgerald go away?
or at least the next 10.
He's still doing
Was
it.
he 30? He's 37, 38.
37, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
What a
Shout out
beast.
to Larry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What a beast.
Yeah, so keep an eye on those Will Fuller shares. If you're in Dynasty, if you own Randall Cobb, I know he was on the waiver wire sheet like three times.
Yeah.
I mean, if you went out there and picked him up and didn't drop him for another player, he might be someone that gets moved around. There's offers going into the Texans, and it could be bye-bye, see you later for Will Fuller, possibly going to the Packers.
That's exciting, Chef. Like as a dynasty owner, and I have Will
Yeah.
Fuller, and even in redraft, he's been having a great season already. He's performing well with Watson so far. But if he were to go to an offense where Devontae Adams is demanding double teams on the other side, and he's got Aaron Rodgers, like look out, Will Fuller is sky's the limit.
And they just
Shame,
signed
man.
Brandon Cooks, so Cooks has to stay there, correct?
I'm
I was
pretty
gonna
sure,
say,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's going to be Cook season because what else do you do if you're the Deshaun Watson owner? All of a sudden,
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, okay, well, what happened, guys? What happened? Especially in Dynasty, you think you got this guy, and then all of a sudden they take away all his other guys, and now
Yeah.
you have no one to play with.
He keeps
But, I
being
mean,
magical and doing his thing, and he'll be playing in negative game scripts and all that, so he'll still hold some of his value, but it definitely hurts him, and they're going to have to make wholesale changes in the offseason.
It's going to be fun to watch, boy.
Oh, yeah, we'll be tuning in for sure and covering it. 100%.
Mhm.
So, yeah, in other news, the some positive news, you could say, for the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to designate Tevin Coleman. He's going to be coming off the IR, so he should be back in the fold soon. I don't, however, expect him to play this week, and it'll probably be another week before he's actually on the field. Look for McKinnon and Hasty to split the carries this week.
But if he's out there on your waiver wire for some reason, pick him up.
Oh, for sure. He's a nice stash.
I
man, for
missed
later.
him everywhere.
17 leagues.
Me too.
I missed
I
him
wasn't willing to
everywhere.
pay where, at the price where I had to pay for him, and everybody stashed him. If you were the Mostert owner, you kind of want to invest in that entire backfield, like them and the Ravens, since they run the ball so much, number 1 and 2 in the league and running in rush attempts.
A lot of
They kinda-
roster spots.
Yeah, but you want to have them. I mean, like it clogs your roster, but if you have one, you should definitely have their backup.
More so for redraft.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100% for redraft. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know. I mean, Hasty could go out on the next play. They're dropping like flies over there.
Yeah, it's terrible. There are so
it's
many.
a running back graveyard to
Yeah.
go with the Halloween theme
Yeah,
that
it is,
we're
it is kind of a graveyard.
establishing today. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
it's kind of
Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson went up to Sleepy Hollow last week, and he didn't come out
Yeah.
doing too well. You know what I mean? So
Ah. And they're like one and dones.
yeah, one game, blow up. Whoever it is back there, start them. They're startable for sure. It's just which one is going to be the one that gets the carries and all that. So
Yeah, that's the tough part. I've been
One
using-
quick piece of news. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I had nothing important to say. Okay, I'll say it. I've been using the term discern a lot lately. It's
I
like,
like
yeah,
that.
that's tough to discern between one or the other. I get hooked on terms sometimes, and I use them a lot. Like
So
last
you're
week,
discerning
I used,
over the word discern.
mayonnaise. Precisely, and then I use it too much, and then it phases itself out, and then my head hurts. Speaking of folks whose heads hurt, what do you
Yeah.
got, Jeff?
Allen Robinson is in the league's concussion protocol after the hit he sustained on Monday Night Football.
yeah, against the Rams, and it's tough to see. You don't want to see it. And he actually didn't report or get up or run away. That the
No.
officials came over and told him, "Hey, listen, you look a little groggy, but you gotta go to the sideline." So now he's in the concussion protocol.
It stinks. It stinks.
Indeed.
Coach says it's all right to bleed from the ears.
Yeah.
Get out there and play boy.
Yeah, you know what would be a cool Halloween costume? Remember in
Mm.
Beetlejuice, all the football players?
Oh yeah,
Hey, coach, come on, coach. And they were talking to the lady, and they thought, "I'm not your coach." The lady with the smoking thing.
She's
Yeah,
got
all
the
those guys
glasses
dressed
with
up
the
like
thing.
football players, like zombie football players. That would be a pretty cool costume.
That
Just
would
need
be
the
a
little
really cool
lady to play
costume.
the old lady.
I'd like to be the referee and just be a zebra and blow the whistle and throw the flag at everybody. Once you get drunk, you stir it up, and
Yeah.
you're living a little bit. And I just
Be-
want to be able to walk around, blow the
Well,
whistle, and throw flags.
Be
at
careful
people.
though. People get
Ed
drunk. and they
Hockley
hate the
costume.
referee.
Oh, they hate the referee.
Yeah, you get the muscle costume. You could be a Hockley chef.
Yeah, you could be a Hockley. Ed Hockley costume. That's pretty cool, man.
That is.
I'll
all
follow
right.
behind you. I wanted to be the beer guy. I'll follow behind you with the Miller Lite.
The beer guy is great.
The beer guy is dope.
I was gonna be the
Dope one,
beer
too.
guy. I was gonna put real beers on ice and go
you
around
guys
do the
aren't-
whole thing.
You guys aren't leaving me anything. I'm walking around with the chains with the 4th down marker, like.
I mean, if my beer grew enough, I could probably pull a Baker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or a
yeah, you
faker.
definitely could.
You can't grow the mustache for Minshew though.
Oh, I could do it.
You could do that. Then
Yeah, I
that-
could do
you
it.
could that
I
one
would never
too.
want to be Minshew though.
You-
Swanson looks more like Minshew. I think he could pull it off. If
Yeah, I
he
could
were to
pull-
dress up like a, all right, so let's do this real fast on the spot. If you were to dress
Okay.
up as an NFL player for Halloween, who would it be?
Oh,
You get to be
man.
any of them. It's your choice.
Any.
I would
Well,
need
who
one of those. I would need one of those wig things, but I would love to be Derrick Henry. Like that would be dope.
That'd be tight.
I mean, I'm 6'3". I could put one of those hair things like he has in the background, which is really cool, by the way. Like that thing that he has hanging out the back of
It's
his helmet,
very
his hair.
authentic.
Right. So if I could do that and put on a helmet, like that would be cool. I could be Derrick Henry, I guess.
I think I would grow my beard out like it was when it was big. That 1 year where I let it go. I think I'd be Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, you could do Fitzpatrick
I'd
for
let
sure.
it go all
Yo,
because-
in the Sean Jackson jacket with the gold chain and the stunner shades.
yeah,
Fitzpatrick all day. If you had your
Uh-huh.
beard, you could definitely do that.
Yep.
Giants. No, I don't know if I'd want to be a Giant right now.
I don't think so. I mean, you can
you
be
know-
a quarterback, just hang your mouth open.
While you're thinking, Chef, you know who could do it? Last night, by the way, shout out to the Open Bar podcast. Last night, the chef killed it and went on there and had a great time. And
What
those
a
guys
great
were
show, man.
What an absolutely great show, right? They were all
Great
super
show.
entertaining. Everybody was genuine.
Mhm.
Everybody gave great stats. But your man, Scott Simpson, nimble with numbers, he could be Fitzpatrick. He looked like him yesterday.
Oh, he has a Fitzpatrick. What are they called? The avatars.
Oh, word.
That's his thing. And he's
Word.
been asked if, and he said it on the show last night. He said Fats Patrick
Right. Yo,
because he said he was a white fat guy.
he can do it though because Fitzpatrick looks like he's chubby, man, and he can definitely put on the black jacket and the gold chains. You know what I mean? And he looks like Fitzpatrick looks like he has like a dad bod type thing happening. So I think he could pull that off, man.
It's almost like
I
you
think if I had to be any football player I think I would want to be like Hollywood Joe, like Joe Theismann, man. He was the man.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking
Joe
about.
And just go classic with it, like
Joe Namath or Theismann?
I'm confused. Hollywood Joe, Broadway Joe.
That's Joe Namath. Broadway Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
You could put on a fur coat,
Yeah,
a white fur coat,
pimp it around, get my hair permed,
and a white fur coat. That would be dope.
Oh, I take
carry
it
around the
back. I take
Jets
back everything
helmet
I
a
said.
little bit.
I take back everything I said. I'm going as Gruden.
Oh, I like that.
Hey,
I mean,
what?
if we were going coaches, I would love to be Ditka,
Ditka.
Oh,
and that's
Okay.
a common one. I think that's a pretty common one, especially if you're from Chicago. But I'm not from Chicago.
But you could still pull that off. That's a good one too. Ditka's dope.
that's got to be a cool thing to live in Chicago, and people it's just a normal thing that people go around in Ditka costumes. They probably have bars that have the Ditka costume contest,
Probably.
which sounds awesome.
Oh, I'm sure
They
they
probably
do.
do that in Kansas City too.
Yeah, the Andy Reid one's got to be dope.
It'd be fun to be Pete Carroll. You just have to have a lot of energy. Just walk around back and forth, get like
And
7
chew your
pieces,
gum real
big
hard.
leg chew, yeah, and just be walking back.
Quick question coming across the line here from our friend Chris Hayes on
My
Facebook.
Chris?
What's
What's up?
going on, Chris? The question is, sup, fellas? On the job, but quick question. Can I trust Devontae Freeman this Monday night against a tough D, or do I consider playing Greg Ward against a Cowboys defense that has more holes than Steve McNair? Oh,
I like that.
Leave it to
That's
Chris Hayes. Leave it to Chris
Oh,
Hayes.
I
It's
wish
Hal-
I didn't read that.
It's
like that.
it's Halloween. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween. I'm gonna make this easy for everybody because I know we're all saying it, and it's Greg Ward.
Mm-hmm. All day long.
Unless
Start-
Chef, you have an objection, but
Listen, that Buccaneers defense is so real, man. 2 weeks in a row. What did they do to Aaron Jones? Make him completely go away. He hasn't played since that game. Josh Jacobs last week put up 17 yards on 10 carries. It's not.
Yeah, they're in the top
it's
12, inside the top 12 against running backs, man. I'm not trusting it.
Nah, bro.
And we saw
Freeman's
Gallman come
questionable
in.
as of right now. Still, yeah, we saw Gallman come
We
in.
saw
and do some work.
Gallman come in and do some work, and then I know Deion Lewis is a little chipped up, but you might see him a little bit too. Yeah, I wouldn't trust Devontae Freeman. This week.
Listen, Greg Ward's usage right now. He's in the slot. He's been lining up all over the field. I like Greg Ward right now in his situation. There's no Deshaun Jackson. That's a good matchup against the Cowboys. Greg Ward's a smash play over.
See if you
Devontae
could
Freeman
sell
for him.
Devontae Freeman for somebody,
that's a good point. Yeah, you probably could.
because he's probably not going to do too much for you. I mean, unless you need the extra. If you're flexing him,
Then you don't need him.
you really don't need
Maybe.
him.
So depending on roster,
I would
construction,
flex somebody with more upside. Greg Ward has the more upside in this case. Very close, but
100%.
yeah.
Good tilt though. That's a good way to start the tilts.
Yeah,
That's a
good tilt. Thank you, Chris.
my man.
As
Hope
always.
that helps you out, Chris.
All
All right,
right,
so
boys.
let's get into our bigger segment, man. Our
done the
monster
routine.
match of
It's
Halloween
monster match
festivities.
time.
I like this one.
It's gonna be fun.
And we're going to start off, we'll start off real simple. Juan, our first Halloween subject is the famous trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
So
I'm on-
you could play it either way if you wanted to. And are we going to get tricked this week, or are we going to get treated on this player that you've chosen?
We're getting a treat right here, Chef. Mine's a treat. And here's a good little treat. It's Le'Veon Bell playing against those Jets. Like the revenge game. It's perfectly themed for Halloween. It's like a scary situation, him going back. And Adam Gase is already scared. You see his eyeballs. He's already scared.
You kind of look like him.
I did. You see that? You like that? The Gase hole?
If you look up.
So
I can't do that.
Yeah, I can. So at the Gase hole, he's going to get Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell in 264 carries for the New York Jets had 1 carry for 16 yards. Last week in his first game with the Kansas City Chiefs, 16 yards. Later on in the game, another one for 16 yards. So he's already doubled his burst production. I think they're going to feed him. They're going to let Hilaire take a pseudo day off. And I think 15 carries are in plan for Le'Veon Bell to come back and haunt his old team.
That's a good point. I like how you say they might give Hilaire like a pseudo day off, because it's like, bro, just save yourself. We're saving you for the playoffs. People are getting hurt. Send the boy out there to cannonball his old team.
Right, and you saw last week Leonard Fournette came back healthy, and Ronald Jones was kind of took a back seat. It's not a complete benching, but it's a let me ease the load a little bit and let this guy work. Especially if there's extra motivation, like Lev Bell. If he wants to play a game, it's this one. Like this is the game he wants to shine and go off on that team.
Like it.
Me too, Chef. Who you got as your trick or your treat?
My trick or my treat.
Ding dong.
It's the Eagles running back, whoever it may be. And we may get tricked on this one, but we'll definitely be treated either way. The trick is we don't know if Miles Sanders is going to play on Sunday. And I mean, it's a great matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. And if Boston Scott is in there, we'll still get treated to a halfway decent game. But if Miles Sanders is in there, boy. And I just figured out my costume that I really wanted to be. And it's not the player. I want to dress up like Colonel Sanders.
I like it.
I love the Colonel Sanders commercials, the KFC. And I am talking about the Colonel here. The real official Colonel Sanders is Miles Sanders.
Couldn't give you that Sunday.
If he plays this week, he is going to smash it for you. Dallas ranked 30th against the run in fantasy points per game with 23.1. There's no reason why he doesn't get receiving work and a strong, heavy run load.
For sure, against that Cowboys defense.
Yeah, we saw Antonio Gibson smash. It's a no-brainer, really. But either way, man, it's gonna taste great. We're gonna get treated.
You get a treat at the end of it. I like it, Chef.
Sounds good. I like
Mr.
that.
Swanson, trick or treat.
Ding dong.
Should have got a ding dong.
Ding dong. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we should. That would have been cool. Had a little ding dong in there. I'm checking something out right now. Did I read this wrong? Am I doing this? All right. So, my treat, my trick or treat is a treat. My treat this week is Jonathan Taylor from the Indianapolis Colts. He's been okay this year. He's been all right. He's not killing your fantasy team. He's also not winning you weeks yet, but I think that's yet to be seen. He's coming off a bye. Detroit. I have the Detroit ranks 29th against the run. Am I wrong?
They're down there.
Originally, it was 30th.
They're definitely in the bottom quarter.
Oh, maybe. You know what? I think I didn't account for PPR. Okay. Detroit sucks against the run. There it is. He's had a good number of touches this season. I think he gets a 20-plus touch week against the Lions, who have allowed the 4th most fantasy points per game. And I think going forward, Jonathan Taylor is going to emerge from your candy bag as the delicious treat that you expected, but like in the second half of your candy bag. And then from the second half of your candy bag down, it's just all delicious stuff.
I like it.
And that's mine.
Yeah, 29.4 fantasy points is what Detroit is allowing.
That's it. Okay, so I was right there.
27.
And Gurley got into the end zone twice last week.
Even once by mistake.
Yeah.
Everybody this has been driving me crazy. Everyone's been talking so much about him, Gurley trying to stop before the end zone. And I just think it was a momentum thing. It's not a mental thing. He didn't forget to stop. It's just
it carried him in.
Momentum sometimes will do some funny things to you. Like you'll run just as fast as Tyreek Hill and then outrun your own body and then fall 10 yards short of the end zone.
Daniel Jones.
Exactly. That's when, you know what I mean? Or your body will do amazing things and you'll do the DK Metcalf. I swear that I'm gonna have dreams like it used to be. You're getting Halloween, you're getting chased by the boogeyman, you're getting chased by Jason, whatever. You look behind you, you got DK Metcalf coming at you. Nobody is outrunning DK Metcalf.
It's unreal.
At all.
Buda Baker's not slow by any
No,
means.
not at all. And he just came his strides, man. He was clearing like 5-6 yards a stride. I was like, where go gadget Metcalf? Oh my goodness.
It's like a horror movie though. Like you really can't outrun that bad guy. He's gonna catch you. Like it's unbelievable.
Hey.
And he came and he got him.
I wanted someone to take that video and then overlay some scary, like iconic Halloween music over top of that.
Oh, you could definitely take clips and do it.
That would be dope.
Oh yeah,
you have that ability.
All right, so
you just said that.
You know what? Maybe
coming soon to one of those TV shows that we watch near you.
Coming soon to a primetime
100% on Halloween. Watch on Halloween how they do that on the Good Morning Football or one of those guys watch.
Man, it's a good thing though.
Great idea.
All right, so that was Ding Dong Trick or Treat.
We all got a treat.
We all got a treat. So we're walking away. It was a good house right there. Walking up and down the street, and there's all these kids are out there trick or treating. Some costumes are creative, some costumes are lame, but then there's some scary costumes. So we have our next segment, which is scariest costume, and I'm gonna throw it right to James. Chef, who is your player with the scariest costume?
With the scariest costume, and he's like, I don't think he's very handsome anyway, so he's just scary for me. And his stats of late are not living up to his wide receiver one potential, and that scares me even more. And that player is Amari Cooper. Going up against the Philadelphia Eagles this week, he's going to have the Darius Slay treatment, and Darius Slay knows how to shut down some receivers. Slayton McLaurin just slipped by him and he was playing on the other side. Last week, he shut down Darius Slayton, 2 for 23 yards on 4 targets. That means they're not targeting on that side at all. He's a shutdown shadow, sort of ghostly cornerback.
Wow.
And you got Ben DiNucci, starting quarterback, throwing the ball, third string. I'm really more scared of that whole Dallas offense in general. But yeah, Amari Cooper, man, he's scaring me this week, and he's my scary costume.
He might be scarier beyond Halloween. He might be one of those people who celebrates Halloween up until the turkey.
The nightmare before Christmas.
Yeah, they don't take the decoration down until Christmas.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be one of those. One of those for sure. Before I throw it to Juan real quick,
I was throwing it to you. You should.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I want to jump on with my scariest costume because my scariest costume, and I'm starting to think that it's a tandem costume, like two people that one's the butt of the horse, one's the head of the horse, but it's like a headless horse costume because drunken horse is a drunken horse, and mine is Michael Gallup. So,
I like how you pun that together with the horse and the gallop.
And
putting the Cooper before the horse.
That's what I always say. I say, put your Cooper before your horse. It's one of those old adages.
Sorry,
but yeah, no, I think, dude, Gallup has been. I mean, all these guys, it's scary because you drafted these receivers for the Cowboys before the season started, and even before Dak got hurt, it still wasn't as great. Maybe it's just there were too many mouths to feed. But now that Dak is hurt, in the last 2 games with DiNucci, 2 full games, Gallup's been targeted 8 times. And out of those 8 times, he's caught 2 passes for a total of 23 yards. Yikes. And now they got to go to the Eagles. So even if Cooper's getting the Slay treatment, I feel like DiNucci's a little like Gallup's the field stretcher. I don't think he's going to be slinging it down the field to Gallup all day long. I think he's going to be taking chances on bigger body guys like Cooper, like Lamb, like Schultz. And even if Cooper's, covered, Lamb and Schultz, I feel like are going to be better plays this week. And I think you're just going to see Michael Gallup and Amari Cooper running around like a headless horse. One of them doesn't know which end's the butt, and one of them doesn't know which end's the front. And I would just stay away from it. And that is scary. That's the scariest part about this.
That's a scary costume.
When you can't tell your head from your ass.
I'd be scared
That's
if you couldn't
that's
tell
a
him.
scary time. Happy Halloween, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so now that we got the Dallas scary costume out of the way, and just going back to our point from before, I think if I really wanted to do a scary costume for Halloween, I would dress up as Jerry Jones. Juan, who is your scariest costume for the week?
Well, my fear comes from like almost from childhood. But speaking of childhood, Jerry Jones is dressed up like the Crypt Keeper every week. Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, well, the one I'm scared of, it's been 4 or 5 years in the making, and it feels like every year around this time I'm scared of him, and it's Devontae Parker. I love my Dolphins, you know that, but like you guys are talking about the Slay treatment, when you get the Ramsey treatment, you basically get the handcuffs put on you, and you know you're going to struggle. Even though he's coming off the bye and he's got the questionable tag as of right now, so that scares me a little bit. The injury concern, the fact that he's not 100% healthy, and he's going up against Jalen Ramsey. So far, Devontae Parker has one 200-yard game this year, so he's been at best sporadic, you could call him. So I would totally stay away from him. And he's a guy like Michael Gallup that you took in those middle rounds, and you were counting to be able to use him right now as a flex option or as a wide receiver too. And he's shown little bits and flashes, but this is the game that I'd be scared to play Devontae Parker. So that's my scary costume. And it feels like it's every year I'm scared of Devontae Parker.
It's got to be a scary costume for Tua too, because here comes Tua. You know, it's the emergence of your boy,
Tua season.
and it's Tua, and now he's got to throw against. So I think he'd probably just avoid that situation. And I agree with Parker. Dude, he went 3 for 8 for 35 against the Jets.
Yeah,
y'all know how I feel about
picking on the Jets. Yeah,
I really hope.
I picked on him this week with Le'Veon Bell as my treat for that reason, because it's they're the Jets. But if he couldn't perform then, I don't expect him to perform against Jalen Ramsey.
Cool, I like it. I like it a lot. So that was our scariest costume. So we're at the party right now. We went trick or treating, and then we went right to the party for the scariest costume. But sometimes at the party, you can't even tell who's in costume. Some people are so good at their costumes, you don't actually even know. You've been friends with this person forever, but you don't even know who's behind it. So we're going to go with our best disguise for the final part of this segment. And I guess I'll throw it down to Juan. Who is your best disguise? Keep it rolling.
Yeah. So my best disguise is one of the chef's favorite players. And last week we saw him make his debut. He had 4 catches on 7 targets for 42 yards, and he should have had another one, and he could have been hit deep. And I think this is the week that we see Denzel Mims come out of that Josh Gordon costume, and he's going to come out and smash. Both 6'3", both about 210 or so, give or take. 4.38 40 on the boy Denzel Mims, and he's going to be in a game against Kansas City where they're going to be up, and you're going to have to chase them, and the only way you beat those Chiefs is by throwing the football. So if history is anything to show that teams have to give a little bit more. I know that the Chiefs are ranked 3rd against wide receivers in points allowed per game, but there might not be any Jamison Crowder. Perriman's in the concussion protocol. Yep. Darnold and him have to have some sort of rapport from earlier on in the season when they were working out, and he's healthy. And if you're going to be right, and the Jets are going to do anything to be able to compete some way, somehow in this game, I feel like if he comes out in a Josh Gordon costume and does his thing and debuts, I think Denzel Mims is that dude, that sleeper this week.
I like that.
And he's not owned either.
I like that. He's a sleeper.
Deep sleeper.
Mr. Swanson, who is your disguised player of the week?
My disguised player of the week is Scotty Miller.
Oh.
Actually, so Scotty Miller does so just how you were talking about doing the Josh Gordon disguise. Scotty Miller is actually he wears a pretty good Tyler Lockett disguise. You think he's Chris Hogan, but he's really Tyler Lockett, and he's surprisingly fast. He runs a 4.44. I mean, AB's coming back next week, right? So I mean, Scotty Miller, Tom Brady, you already have this opportunity there. Tom Brady is throwing to whoever's open right now, and next week when AB comes back, we're probably having a different discussion. But Halloween doesn't last 2 weeks. Halloween lasts 1 week. So this disguise is Scotty Miller. He hasn't been terribly consistent, but he has had 73 receiving yards in 4 out of those 7 games that he's played. He's also coming off a 109, yard game with a touchdown against the Raiders. Godwin's out this week. His fingers, he's got Crypt Keeper finger. I think that's the official designation on the thing. So I think he's going to see some solid volume.
Valium?
I think he's going to see none of that.
Oh,
None of that. He's going to see some solid volume and a chance to rack up some catches against the Giants defense, which has allowed 101 receptions to receivers this year, which is fourth most in the NFL. So after this week, he probably takes the disguise off. But this week, I think it's Scotty Miller.
yeah.
I like it.
Chef, who you
That's-
got?
I'm going to go with, oh man, I don't know who I'm going to go with now. I had it and now I don't have it. I think it's,
Last minute costume change.
yeah, last minute costume change. I was doing a little bit of research on the end, and I was going over the cornerback reports. And I'm not going to go with the guy that I was talking about off show. I'm gonna pivot real fast.
Really?
And my hidden guy, yeah, we were talking
Live
about
pivot.
horses and headless horses, and it made me start thinking about T.Y. Hilton.
On the Colts.
He has not been doing well this year, and
Oh,
for the most part, he's been disguised. Last game against Cincinnati, he had 1 reception for 11 yards. He has not broken 100 yards. He has not scored a touchdown this season. But he's going up against a banged up Desmond Trufant in the with the Detroit Lions secondary. He is still the number 1 target on that team, against them. Yes, the Lions are poor against the run. We saw that, but they will have to pass. And I think T.Y. Hilton could actually have a decent opportunity to get some points this week. And it's a disguise because he hasn't done it yet.
no.
I mean, I think he sneakily becomes a high floor flex, high ceiling flex play for the week, or even a low end wide receiver too, if need be. And that's more
Okay.
than what you've been getting from T.Y. Hilton.
Definitely. I
That'd be a
like that.
pleasant
Against a
surprise, yeah.
banged up Trufant. Yeah.
It's a pleasant
Okay.
surprise right there.
And they're bad against the run, so they're gonna have to. There's gonna be a lot of focus on that to try to stop that run. I think Ty could wear the sneaky costume. Okay, I like that.
Dark
Nice
horse.
pivot. Dark horse.
We're sticking with horses. The horse.
We're sticking
horse
with horses.
Dark Colt. Let's go.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Wow, there are horses
Yeah.
all over this podcast.
Yeah,
today.
that's why he was talking about it. I love it.
Oof. My voice is
Okay.
gonna be scratchy at the end. You thought I was gonna say horse, but I said scratchy.
You don't want to be Mr. Ed for Halloween.
A
I need
horse
some
is a
peanut
horse,
butter.
Of course.
Yeah.
And no one can talk to a horse, of
well,
course.
that brings us right into our next Halloween treat, the candy comp. So I'm gonna kick it off because I've got it already here. We're talking about peanut butter,
Yeah.
and you can hear the peanut butter in studio.
Crackling.
I just have
Going in my
breaking
mouth.
news. I have
And the
breaking
sh-
news
and the-
for your thing. So go ahead.
Go ahead,
What's
read it.
happening?
Go ahead, read it for.
No, because it's gonna ruin your candy comp person.
It's gonna ruin my candy comp person.
It's gonna spoil the surprise.
Oh, so my candy obviously is Reese's peanut butter cups. I love Reese's peanut butter cups.
He does.
As you could tell, I love every holiday because they change shapes. You know, they keep it real like we do here at the Tilt.
Not sorry.
Um,
That's them, right?
but I'm gonna compare a Reese's peanut butter cup to Dalvin Cook.
Who is now active officially?
Oh,
That's
breaking
backwards.
news!
Literally
what
just
breaking
came in
news
as we
was.
changed the segment. That was so cool.
Awesome.
Spooky
Awesome.
timing. I'm in the woods. Dalvin Cook to Reese's Pieces, huh? Or the Reese's peanut butter cups. I love it.
Reese's peanut butter cup. Yeah, I like the cups better than the pieces. The pieces, you know, you just got to chew on 'em and all that. The peanut butter cup just goes down perfect.
All
I'd
that
rather
candy
swallow
coating
mine
and all
whole.
that, yeah.
Like a duck.
Right? Yeah, I don't want that extra candy coating.
Right.
He doesn't need. Well, he may need an extra. He's a little injury prone, but that's another story for another day.
That's a story
He's-
for another day.
So you think about the peanut butter cup. It's got the
Hmm.
peanut butter on the inside and the milk
Mhm.
chocolate on the outside,
Ooh.
and you put it together and you bite it, and it tastes delicious.
Oh, it does.
Now, Cook is
Hmm.
that Reese's peanut butter cup because he is a dual threat. On the outside, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. And on the inside, he's got that smooth peanut butter between the tackles run. He can knock over a defensive lineman,
Ooh.
stiff arm champion, and he's going up against the
Like that.
Packers this week. 31st against the run, allowing 26.1 fantasy points per game. he will continue his run to being an RB3 for 2020. He was up there earlier in the season. I think this is a get-right game for all you Dalvin Cook owners out there. Myself, personally, I own a lot of shares, or I have him on a lot of rosters. I'm not supposed to say that shares thing, I guess, whatever.
You're not supposed to say that? Why not?
Yeah, some people take it the wrong way, so we're trying to change.
Is that taboo? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's going on right now.
About ownership, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I thought having shares would be a decent transition, though.
Yeah.
I thought having shares.
I thought that was okay. I guess.
Having shares.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, who has? I guess the cool thing about a Reese's peanut butter cup is that it comes with multiple in a box, so you can share. Not sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
It
you
comes
off.
with. It does it come with two? Because on Halloween you
said-
get the one.
I know, but that's
No,
the
no,
little
no, you
Halloween
get
treat.
the two of
when
them.
you go buy them, you get two, and if you get the
You
king
get
size,
two of
it's
them.
3 or 4, right? Like, yeah,
It's
different.
4. King size 4.
I only buy the little
Halloween.
candies. I can't trust myself with two big things like that.
Well, the good thing about this week is you can trust yourself, and now it's a week to indulge, and that is going all in on Dalvin Cook because he is a delicious 3-down back, and you know what? He's a 4-down back, and that's 4 different Reese's cups in your king size Reese's that you just got from that awesome house. So that is a great candy comp. Keep going with it. I mean, I'm sure
It's
you're not
over
done.
now.
Oh, it's over now.
He's eating.
I'm
now.
eating peanut butter cups.
Oh man, I love
I mean,
it.
I want that Dalvin Cook.
Mm-hmm.
What's yours,
Juan, who
Mr.
you have?
Swanson?
Oh, you want
all right.
to do mine?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so
The
I will
chef likes the
do.
peanut butter cup.
So my
I'm
candy
chilling. Go
comp
ahead.
is the Milky Way Midnights, which
What's
is
the
my favorite
Midnight?
candy bar.
Yeah, what is that midnight?
Is it the dark chocolate?
It's the dark chocolate one.
Oh,
I'll break it down for you. It's 11:59 the night before Halloween. Suddenly, against the shine of the full moon, you catch a gleam of an 8-inch needle, and before you know it, it strikes through your chest, and you can't go trick-or-treating. Your costume is useless. It's now midnight. Who will take your place? It's Justin Herbert. Coming in at midnight with 1 minute left. Who comes in to take over the costume? Justin Herbert. And he's 3 great things. 3 great things that came out of nowhere. What are those 3 great things? Well, chocolate, caramel, and vanilla nougat are 3 of my favorite things. And then you bring in passing with accuracy, and rushing. All of a sudden, 3 for 3 at midnight. Justin Herbert, this must be too good to be true. But it ain't. Because it's a rookie candy bar and it's a rookie quarterback, and it's the most delicious thing that you have ever seen when you expected to have nothing for Halloween. He was great last Sunday. It led to his first NFL win, and he's been putting up numbers and fighting games against Hall of Famers as a rookie. And he throws a beautiful ball. He was 27 of 43 last week for 247 and 3 touchdowns. He added 9 carries to that for a team high 66 yards and a touchdown. So that means now he's delivered 3. There's that number again. Consecutive top 9 fantasy weeks during those 5 weeks that he's played, and currently ranks 4th among quarterbacks in fantasy points and no lower than 7th in passing yards, passing touchdowns, carries, and rush yards, because you have to put a wrapper on the candy bar. He's one of
that. That's what it's
Going
saying.
forward, he has one of the easiest fantasy schedules based on fantasy points allowed. And considering his rushing production, he's very much a QB1 with upside. Well, with his upside, he's a QB1 going forward. And that's Milky Way Midnight.
Milky Way Midnight.
Milky Way Midnight.
That was dope, and he just backed out into the darkness. That was dope, Mr. Swanson.
But that's not all the candy we have.
No.
Because
no,
in this
you-
house, we get 3 of them.
yeah,
And
you
Juan's
get-
held now his. He just rang the doorbell. Ding dong.
I
Juan,
did, and I, you know,
Give us
I
a
kinda-
candy comp.
my candy comp, I regret not having a visual like the chef did, because the chef's over here eating Reese's and he's showing you the package and he's like having a good time with it, you know. And for those of you listening and you can't see it, I have to do it for everybody anyway. So picture that nice golden wrapper with those red letters on it, and it reminds you of the gold helmet with the red letters of the San Francisco 49ers, and it's a Twix. Inside that nice shiny bag, there are 2 pieces of candy. You can't tell left from right Twix, and you don't know which one you want to grab, but they're both equally delicious. And that's the 2 wide receivers on the 49ers. That's Kendrick Bourne and Brandon Ayuk. Both of them will have an opportunity to eat. Debo's not playing. Ayuk just came off of 6 catches and 115, and that was against Stephon Gilmore and the dreaded New England secondary.
Yeah.
So he's going to be lining up 64% of the time. He lines up on the left-hand side. No matter what side he lines up on, they're facing the Seattle defense. Seattle's giving up 60 fantasy points per game to the wide receiver position, which is 12 more than the second highest, which is the Browns at 48 points to the wide receiver.
Yeah, I think Shaquille Griffin is hurt too.
He's also hurt.
Yeah.
So if he got Shaquille Griffin, that would actually have been the best one because he's given up 18.7 fantasy points to the wide receiver, while the other two, Trey Flowers and Quentin Dunbar, are giving up 12.2 and 12.7 respectively. So when you have those kind of matchups, it's an easy 12 to 15 points from either one of the Twix bars that you get in this matchup. Seattle's unbelievably bad against the wide receiver, and you got to expect that game to have to be some sort of a shootout because Russ is still cooking and the Niners defense isn't up to par just yet. They aren't fully healthy.
They're
100%.
getting better, but they're not there yet.
They're not quite shut down people mode yet. And Russ hasn't been stopped by anybody. Like you said, he's on pace for 66 touchdowns. So I expect them to have to throw it enough, just like they did last week, to get Ayuk and Kendrick Bourne to both go off this week. And those are my Twix. And I love a Twix because you get two. It feels like two candy bars.
It's like a twin thing. It's Twix. I like Twix.
That's cool. I like how you did the two with the Twix. Nice. I'm full.
That was great, man. Sweet ending to our Halloween bash, our monster mash of a segment there. Very, very nice. Very nice. And now a word from our sponsor, Juan. If you want to prop this up for us.
Yeah, Chef, you know we all love betting around here, and we love a good little wager. And a good way to prop up is to visit our friends over at Thrive Fantasy. You choose over 10 over-unders and at Thrive Fantasy NFL Sunday prop contest. Seems easy enough. You pick 10 games, right? It's $25 to enter. $27.50 in goes to first place. $2,750 goes to first place in this contest. There are $12,500 in guaranteed prizes. All you have to do is visit Thrive Fantasy and use our code TIRPOD when you sign up and receive an instant deposit match of up to $50, minimum $20 deposit required. Hashtag prop up.
That was great.
Yeah, man. Go pick the 10 over-unders. We've been picking those parlays pretty well, and we've been doing all right with them, Chef. I'm going 9 out of 12, 10 out of 12 one of these weeks. I'm going to get one.
Once again, that promo code is TIRPOD. Check out Thrive Fantasy. Yeah, that was good.
Yes, sir.
So we're just gonna prop up right into our waiver wire heroes segment, and I'll throw it up on the screen for you guys real fast. You can check it out. There it is. We're all hidden now.
It's a league winner, people.
And I can't see it all. I might have to make my screen bigger. Oh,
no, we're just gonna do that.
Oh, it's because of the banner.
And if you're listening to this tomorrow on the podcast, the screen is up, and we're going to go through the names and read some of them all for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we do. The waiver wire heroes.
Sure,
they're heroes. They're the heroes of Halloween.
100% Halloween heroes. I like that.
Halloween heroes. I should have switched it this week.
Throw some pumpkins on there or something.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's like the waiver wire heroes, they come to save the day. They're like the Marvel heroes, and you want to dress up like a Marvel character this year.
Yeah.
Dress up like a waiver wire hero. Teddy Bridgewater, the Carolina Panthers. He is the Black Panther.
Yes, sir.
If he were to dress up for Halloween, man, because he is crushing it, and he's going up against Atlanta this week. Only 37.3% ownership, projected over 20 points. He's got a great matchup. The cornerbacks for Atlanta are suffering each and every week.
Yep.
Teddy Bridgewater, man, he's a smash play, and he starts off our waiver wire hero sheet.
I love that play, Chef. And Teddy Bridgewater is one of my favorite players for DFS, and this week in particular, that matchup is amazing. And when you get guys, you either want opportunity or you want matchup. And JaMycal Hasty this week as a running back is going to have an opportunity against Seattle to be able to do some work. If he gets any kind of usage like we saw Chase Edmonds against Seattle last week, where he gets a little bit of that passing work and he gets involved in the running game, I think JaMycal Hasty is a great pickup, and he's definitely one to own going forward with all those Niners being banged up all the time.
Next on our list,
Josh Kelly.
Talk about Josh Kelly, Mr. Swanson. Go ahead.
I'd rather you talk about Josh Kelly. I mean, other than the obvious things that he's 48.6% owned, folks. I'm a little confused about that, but he's going up against Denver this week. James, how do you feel? Or Chef, I keep calling you by someone's
That's
name.
okay.
That
By
just
his government.
by a government name.
I don't depict the two, so it's fine.
How do you feel about Josh Kelly?
I don't feel great going up against Denver, but anytime that a handcuff running back that has shown potential,
Mm-hmm.
if he's unowned and I have an open roster spot, he is someone that you could pick up. Justin Jackson goes down in a flash. Austin Eckler's still not coming back for a couple weeks. So yeah, what happens if something happened to Justin Jackson? Josh Kelly would be thrust into that starting role as the lead running back. Good or bad, he still has more opportunity than someone that like Carlos Hyde, or not Carlos Hyde. Give me somebody that's 4 weeks out. Raheem Mostert.
Right.
He has more opportunity than Raheem Mostert right now. And if I've already tried to replace him with McKinnon, now McKinnon's not there. Hasty's gone already. As you can see, Hasty on the top of this list with a good matchup.
Right.
Then yeah, I would take a shot with Josh Kelly. If it's a long stretch, it's a waiver wire ad.
Yeah, but listen, that can go the same way he lost his job because he fumbled. All it takes is one fumble by Justin Jackson, and Anthony Lynn's going to pull him and go back to the other one that fumbled less recently, at least. So Josh Kelly's a great play and a good stash, especially if you're the Austin Eckler owner, or if you own Justin Jackson right now. You should definitely have him on your team because that can switch week to week. And if they get up in a game, I think he's the bigger back and the guy that you're going to want to give the ball to wind out the clock at the end of the game. And down near the goal line, he's also the bigger guy too. So
and he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Sure.
He has caught it.
Listen, he was doing work until he fumbled. So it's all getting back in the good graces of your coach. And they just had a bye week. They might come out of that bye week and be like, okay, let's play and let's go with Josh Kelly.
Who wants to do the next running back?
Yeah, I'll take Carlos Hyde if you want. Listen,
go for it.
Yeah. Carlos Hyde's playing the 49ers. You don't love this matchup, but with Chris Carson's injury, you're going to have that. Chris Carson's a number one runner. He's an RB1 right now, and Chris Carson's been a great running back so far this season. So if you want a handcuff, there's no better handcuff than Carlos Hyde. You saw him get the work against Arizona, and that game was a shootout, and he was still in there most of the snaps. So as long as he's healthy, I would definitely have Carlos Hyde as a stash and somebody that I could use going forward. You might not love him in the Niners matchup, but going forward, he is definitely somebody you want to have on your team.
Especially since it's pretty official right now. It came out an hour ago. I was going to mention it that his decision is a game time decision. So having someone like Carlos Hyde stash is pretty. I mean, similar to having like Jamal Williams. I mean, the talent isn't quite there, but I mean, or as similar. But having Jamal Williams to back up your Aaron Jones stack, if the game time decision does go the other way, is something to keep an eye on for sure.
With the scarcity at running back, all you're looking for is a chance. You don't even have to be the Aaron Jones owner to own Jamal Williams or the Chris Carson owner to try to own Carlos Hyde.
No, not at all.
Having him on your team is just a smart play, a heady play if you got a spot on your bench for him.
Absolutely.
All right, so that was one quarterback from our starting roster, 3 running backs. We're going to jump into our 3 waiver wire heroes, wide receivers for the week. James, I'll throw this one to you. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to take this back and throw it to Juan because he just had him as part of his Twix. Our first one on the list is
I was going to say we might not even have to talk about it.
We don't really have to. You already heard it.
Yeah.
6 for 115 against the Patriots, and he's playing Seattle, worst defense in the league against wide receivers. All you need to know. Brandon Ayuk is a smash, and I don't know how it's 34.7, but it should be 100% start for me for this week for him. But
cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess that goes without saying. Somehow he is only 34.7% owned, so go out and get him. The next one on the list is Nelson Agholor. If you guys don't mind, I'll jump on this one real fast.
Please do.
As the former Nelson Agholor neighbor, if you will, it's nice to see him do well over in Vegas. He had a 5 for 107 and 1 receiving line on 9 targets last week against the Bucs. That was just great to see. That was his highest target total since week 11 of 2019. Finally, first 100-yard game since week 2 of that particular year. So now he's got a touchdown in 3 consecutive games. And out of those games that he's played, 4 of those 6 games, he's had a touchdown since joining the Raiders. He's the number 1 guy on that team right now. And
I think going against Tampa, he could do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's definitely a guy that you could start this week, but you should also grab him and stash him for sure. He's out there. He's 3.4% owned. you can
That's
find him.
unreal. A guy
Yeah.
that scored 4 touchdowns, Mr. Swanson in
Mhm.
6 games, like that's somebody who should probably be rostered.
Yep, I agree. Excuse me. Anybody else have anything to say about
No.
about
No,
all of them?
Aguilar's great, man. Going up against Terrence Mitchell, he's awesome.
Yeah,
He's
They're
gonna
going up
rock.
against
he's probably gonna score a touchdown.
AJ Green. What did he have? 7 for 82.
Right. He had a pretty good game last week. Yeah.
He did. He's creeping up there, which is
Cleveland in general
reassuring
is
to
just
see.
kind of somebody you want to target. You want
Yeah,
to play against.
they
the
give
Cleveland
up
Browns.
points,
Yeah, they're the second most, 48 points per game to the wide receiver position in fantasy.
and they find themselves in close games. So, and
Shootouts.
we saw
potentially.
Vegas give up points last week to Tom Brady, and not to say Baker's Tom Brady, but I mean they'll find a way to score
Right.
up against the Raiders. So it could be going back and forth for a little bit. That's good. That's a great one, man. And right on the other side of it, Rashard Higgins.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Mhm.
With the Raiders giving up Cleveland giving up points. I think Rashard Higgins will have to stay on the field. He's going up against the Vegas Raiders. We just saw them get blown out by Tampa. It's a great waiver wire pickup. Obviously, if you lost OBJ,
Yep.
that is the main reason why we're talking about Rashard Higgins. I should have led with that. But yeah, 1.6% owned. I'm sure that has crept up to about 80% owned
Probably.
in the last 24 hours when this after this sheet was released. But hey, check your waiver wires if you're playing small leagues. These guys all could help you out this week.
Yeah, another guy that can help you out this week is going to be Trey Burton. And Mr. Swanson, you had a nice little stat about the defenses and the Detroit Lions defense being kind of stingy, but Trey Burton's got a nice little matchup though. If he does play and he goes in this game and there's no Mo Alley Cox, Phillip Rivers is still going to target the tight end. I don't think he cares too much what the Detroit Lions defense is doing or what they're up to particularly. And I think Trey Burton is a guy. He's only 13.7% owned, and there aren't a bunch of tight ends out there right now. Everybody's been scrounging them up. And if your guy's hurt and you're the Mo Alley Cox owner from previous, then you might want to jump on Trey Burton.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the stat is what the stat is, but at the same time, Phillip Rivers historically loves targeting the tight end. He had a great week last week in Burton. Boy, oh boy, until everybody else gets back healthy, he's the dude.
Yeah, they just came out of the bye, so you figure they get things right on the offense, and he was doing well before
2 weeks
they went
ago.
out.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. But coming out of the bye, it works out because 2 weeks to get ready, 2 weeks to prepare for the Lions, and they've been game planning, and I'm pretty sure they're going to use Burton a lot.
All right, so we have 2 more positions to cover on our starting roster of the waiver wire heroes, and those are our 2 flex spots. I'm going to throw this one right to James because he is familiar with the man, Sterling Shepard.
Yeah. Mr. Injury prone, Sterling Shepard. But hey, he's healthy now. He did great last week against the Eagles, took advantage of Darius Slayton being covered as the main wide receiver. And he goes up against Tampa Bay this week. And yes, it's not a great smash play, but the Giants will be behind and have to throw the ball. So they have to throw it somewhere. It's going to be their receiving core between, I think, Evan Ingram. He's going to have a little tough time with those linebackers.
Yeah, Devin White and Levante
Yeah.
David.
But Shepard here, he doesn't get a bad matchup. I like his potential, and for going forward, he may be the wide receiver to own in the Giants' back receiving core for the rest of the year. We just don't know. I mean, Slayton, he got shut down by if Slayton's going to be getting that bigger coverage.
Number 1 coverage. Yeah.
Last year it was reversed, and we saw Slayton eat, and now maybe it's Shepard this year. So go out there and get him. He's available in 32.6% of your leagues. For those of you that are just listening to this, he's a great play. Grab him up.
I like it. Aguilar was able to find a little bit of success against the Bucs last week, so there's no reason to believe that Shepard might not have similar success. And speaking of success,
speaking of quiet success, this is a guy that I always feel like gets. He hasn't gotten his due yet, and I feel like one day it will. I don't know. Maybe it won't even come all the way on one big thing. Maybe people will just look back after he retires at his stats and be like, "What? Are you kidding me?" And it'll be a really fun trivia question. But Juan, who do we have left over at the very bottom of the starting? Not the very bottom, but who do we have left on our starting roster in the flex?
We have Mr. Cole Beasley, and he's actually a little bit more owned than a lot of the guys that are on our list. He's 41.4% because people might have finally woken up. But Cole Beasley's a great play, and he's going up against New England, and you would think that that's a negative matchup, but in the slot, you're able to get to New England a little bit. And last week they did give up a lot of yards to Ayuk, 6 catches for 115. So depending on how they use Beasley, he seems to be Josh Allen's favorite little target, like a go-to third down Jamison Crowder type of target monster. So I feel like Cole Beasley's worth a stash, and definitely somebody that in most of my leagues I would be playing this week.
Yeah, I like Beasley. The Beazles.
The Beazles.
Bezos, I'm sorry I can't come into school today. I've caught the Bezos. I'm not going
Hey
to be
man, if
able
you got
to
these
make it.
Beazles, you might be in an okay spot. I just
Yeah.
want to see Josh Allen start
Hey.
to do better and not have a repeat of what he did against the Jets last week. That was not
No.
good. I mean,
6 field goals. They couldn't
yeah.
get in the end zone.
Yeah.
It was rough.
it was rough.
And he was turning the ball over too.
It's getting
Uh,
spooky for the Josh Allen owner.
Other wire heroes,
Guy
Mr.
like me.
waiver wire heroes, just to close this segment out. Another great streaming quarterback, Derek Carr.
Yep.
Another running back option, Zach Moss. Darnell Blue Mooney.
I like it.
And we have a
Ooh, I
blue
love
moon
that.
this year. That's pretty
We
cool.
sure do. That is cool.
So that goes with that. Harrison Bryant, the tight end, and Jalen Rager getting
ready to come
ready
back.
to come out like a mummy. I hope he's not a mummy. He's the opposite of a mummy when he's on the field.
Yeah.
Very fast moving. With Deshaun Jackson going out, he's going to be scary on that field. Be careful.
Yeah, that offense is starting to take shape, and he'll play a big part when they come back and they have Ward and Fulgham and him, and Goddard comes back first, and then eventually Ertz. Like, the offense has promise. If the Eagles can survive somehow, he's going to be a fantasy impact player down the stretch. And you
Once
got to get him
the-
now, because once he hits the field, people are going to jump on him.
Absolutely. The cool thing about the Eagles in general, just for fantasy purposes alone, for all the players that you've drafted on the Eagles and have gotten hurt and you've had to make pivots and last minute changes, the cool thing is that these guys are going to come back. And if you still have them, you probably drop some of them, but you can still pick them up. And these guys are going to come back. And Carson Wentz he looks great. He's doing everything he can to get the balls to these guys. I think all these Philly players are really going to start to show up more in the back half of the season. And as an Eagles fan, it's not like we're in a competitive division. We could mess
True,
around and
indeed.
end up winning this division once we get a healthy team for 4 straight weeks. I mean,
Yep,
It's-
that's enough.
that
could
is
be enough.
ridiculous. We'd get destroyed the second we got into the next round. But hey, I mean, I'm taking what I can get here.
You can't win if you don't get in.
But hey, your
Absolutely.
defense might show up this week.
Oh,
Defense
100%.
keeps us in games, man. They keep us in
So-
games.
So if you are up Blitz Creek without a paddle,
Mhm.
I think you
Oh.
can jump on this
Nice.
defensive stream and take the Eagles defense against a porous Dallas offense that is depleted. We talked about them throughout the show,
Yeah.
but I'll pick on them one more time.
Do
And
it.
I'm taking the Eagles this week as a streaming option for a defense out there on the waiver wire. If you stream defenses and they're available, that would be my go-to.
I did it last week. I streamed the Eagles against an NFC East matchup, and it worked out for me. So
Indeed.
keep rolling those Eagles out while they're playing the NFC East. I like that.
Yeah. Ride
You
with
know,
it.
I
The
like
whole
that.
NFC least. The least.
Gross.
Yeah.
That's
I'm a part of it. I'm repping it. So I
Yeah,
can
man.
say it.
We both are. We got to do it. Got no other choice. Juan, who do you have for your up bleats? Bleats? I'm doing
Bleats?
this. I'm doing great tonight.
Oh, Blitzen.
Juan,
Blitz Creek.
who do you have for up Blitz Creek without pedal?
Yeah, usually that's the way I am. Usually I don't have a defense on my roster, and week to week I got to bounce back. And you guys pick on people, and we're picking on the Dallas Cowboys this week. I'm going to pick on Kirk Cousins. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers
Oh.
defense this week, and I know that
Oh.
this game could end up being some sort of a shootout. But I like what Chef was saying about Dalvin Cook eating, and Dalvin Cook's got to get fed in order for the Vikings to have any semblance of a chance to keep this game close. Jair Alexander is a real lockdown corner, and he's going to pick a guy. Maybe it's Justin Jefferson or maybe it's Adam Thielen, and he's going to shadow him and try to limit what they can do. And Cousins already has 3 multiple interception games this year. 2 of those games are 3 interceptions. He has 1 300-yard game on the season. The Packers are 11th against the quarterback in fantasy points allowed. I think the Packers have a chance to smash. They've had multiple sacks in every game except for the game against Tom Brady. So if you have a defense that's on that kind of roll, even if they give up some points here and there, they'll make enough smash plays to get you some points on the defensive side.
I like that. So not just because Dalvin Cook is there and he's eating,
Yeah,
the defense on the other side still may
Correct.
come away with some turnovers.
correct. I'm playing the turnover game. I'm playing the multiple sack game because they do with Preston and Za'Darius Smith. They do get a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and Kenny Clark is back, so that defense is a lot different than it was earlier in the year too. So, even if they give up, Cook, inevitably Cook is going to do what he's going to do, but they should be able to keep them out of the end zone, maybe keep them to field goals, and then force Cousins into a game where he has to catch up to Aaron Rodgers in that offense. And in that case, the interceptions do happen for Kirk Cousins more often than not.
That's great, Juan. Minnesota only 16.3% owned in ESPN fantasy leagues, so they are there. I'm sorry,
Wow.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Wow.
Green Bay.
Oops. Sorry. 10.8%.
Yeah, they're not even.
I was reading the
Oh,
wrong line.
Yeah,
goodness,
they're
even
not
better.
owned at all. So you can definitely go
Even
grab
better.
them
Yeah.
anytime between now and grab, and they're going to put up some points. It could be a splash play defense this week.
That's a great stream for the splash. Swoosh. And Mr. Swanson, who do you got to close us out?
My defense is also, it's not a crazy, come out of nowhere defense you wouldn't expect, but they are less than 50% owned, I believe. 42.5. You can look it up and see if I'm close to that. But this week is the New Orleans Saints. They're the 17th ranked defense. I mean, they've been okay, sort of middle of the road, but this week they're going up against Chicago. They rank 25th against opposing defenses, the Bears. And Foles doesn't really have the time, it seems like, to pick apart a defense, with their offensive line. So obviously that's going to limit what he can do. I think they're going to be able to, the Saints are going to be able to take advantage and do a pretty good job on the defensive side of the ball. Wow, I said that like I was reading. They'll do a good job. I think they will. They'll do a good job. No Allen Robinson. You saw what happened a couple of days ago. It's a short week for the Bears. They had a tough game against the Rams, and I think the Saints are really going to put it to them. And if they're less than 50% owned, I think it's a defense you can go out and stream for this week and be happy with it.
Nick
I dig that.
Nick Foles almost looking like a werewolf.
Yeah, Cam Jordan's coming for him, man. I don't know if he's a werewolf or not. Yeah, I think Cam Jordan's the big bad wolf, and he's going to huff and puff and blow Nick Foles down.
I like that. That's great.
Me too. That's good.
So you have your defenses.
All right. It's over. I think we made it, guys. We've gone through our most scariest show we've ever done. Like the takes, like the candy, like the treats, like the tricks.
Yes, sir.
Or I like
like
the
that.
trick
I
and the
like-
treats.
I
Or
like
the treats.
like the costumes.
The costumes were great.
Yeah.
Some of
Lot
the
of horses.
disguises were awesome. A lot of horses in this episode.
A lot of horses. Wow, it was a great show, boys. That was fun.
It's
This
always
was cool
fun,
to do a
especially when
themed
you
show
some
like
kinda
this. Now that
Halloween
it's
thing
the
like
holiday
this.
season. Yeah, this kind of kicks off the holiday season. So we're gonna have a Thanksgiving show coming up, and then we got
Oh,
Christmas.
100%.
Oh, we could definitely talk some turkey, cuz.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
We're
gonna talk
talking-
turkey. It's chef season.
Oh,
cuz.
oh, yeah. We're matching with some foods.
That's
Oh, we're
playoff
gonna
time.
do a whole
Oh,
Thanksgiving spread, man.
Yeah, that's fantasy playoff time. I need my cranberry sauce. I need all that around that time.
Oh,
It's
we're gonna
be
do a
on.
chef's table menu. It's gonna be like a.
I'm
Oh
already
my
thinking,
goodness!
Who's gonna be
You know what
my
I just
pumpkin pie?
Cornucopia of great fantasy football advice.
Yeah.
I just
want-
realized something, chef.
I want pumpkin pie.
What?
I want all that.
So, for those who are listening and have been listening, thank you, as always, for coming back and putting up with us for an hour. But before we did this podcast, Chef was, big surprise, a chef, and
Spoiler
He-
alert.
kept our restaurant afloat, which was a 5-star steakhouse. I mean, this wasn't no dog and pony show. This was the real deal. And before every shift, Chef would type up and print up and put up for every single server and bartender and person in the house to memorize the feature sheet.
Yeah.
And that feature sheet was always so well put together. And it just hit me that while you're putting together the show sheet for the show, it's almost like a feature sheet.
Yeah, man. I'm putting in work over here.
And but I think I never made that connection until now. And I think that's really cool because you always did such a good job with that. And it makes sense that you would do such a good job with this. So I can't wait for
Oh,
a
thanks,
Thanksgiving
man.
show to where we get to, like Thai food into it. It's going to be so cool, man.
Listen, man, I just want to, Chef, I'm looking you in the face and I'm apologizing. I'm sorry if I make you a little nervous because the show sheet, I treat it exactly like Mr. Swanson said. I walk by, look over somebody's shoulder, take
And
a
you guys
glance.
do the same thing to the feature sheet
Right. And
every single week.
but I would memorize it real quick and then walk away.
yeah.
Everybody else is writing it down and trying to figure it out. I just look over, what is it? What's this? All right, we're good. And I come into the show and I do the same thing. And I know it drives you nuts. And
It drives me nuts because I don't know what you guys are going to say.
Yeah, but you don't need, like, I'm gonna.
I don't want to stumble in on your take or something like that.
We'll pivot.
I came in late today with some of those some of the Halloween stuff, but that's what Halloween's all about: surprises, spooky, scary.
Oh no, I don't mind it per se. I just, you know me, I'm organized. Chefs are
The
organized.
chef's always prepared, and I come in at the last minute, just wiling out and spitting out numbers. It's just I don't know how to do it any other way.
It's a
Hey,
great
you guys
dynamic.
have your
It works though.
methods and I have mine. You know, I'm one of those people I have to write down everything, otherwise I'll forget.
It all comes together.
You know, when there's so many pieces going around, you know, you gotta write stuff down and keep it organized. At least try to the best I can anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's different because you're orchestrating the entire thing. Like you got it all set up. Like when you're the chef, bro, you thought out what you were gonna do. You did your food costs. You figured out what you were gonna put on there and how you're gonna pair things together. All I'm doing is spitting out whatever you prepared. Kind of, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about tonight? You know.
But at the end of the
So-
day, we're all putting something on the table.
Right.
We're all
And then
putting it on that table.
So when the guest leaves, they're
Like
happy
that
with
roster.
you, they're happy with me, they're happy with Swanson, and they had a great freaking time while they were here with us dining at the chef's table.
And when you go
I
to bed
love
on
it.
Monday night, you feel great.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Because your
can't wait
team
for
won.
the Sunday tilt.
Oh, the Sunday Till is going to be live this week, man. It was live last week, and everybody that jumped on, and a lot of people had questions, and it was one of the best ones we've done so far. Probably the best.
It's like
one I've done
Sunday
so far.
brunch for fantasy football.
It is. You know what? I gotta get stop being lazy, and I gotta get my bloody Mary game right for Sunday morning.
Yeah, man.
I
Where's
wanna have those on deck.
where are the morning cocktails? I've been doing Irish coffees. If people haven't been watching,
Yeah.
I've been doing Irish coffees, and I feel better, but like halfway through the games.
Yeah.
Once I hit that 4:00 games, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last couple of times we've been doing the show, I figured it was taboo to have a beer open at like whatever 10 a.m., 9 a.m. So
Yeah,
Had a
10 a.m.
coffee.
every Sunday.
We've been doing it.
I had a coffee
We've been doing
cup,
beer.
just so y'all know. There's
And
not
you had a
coffee
beer
in
in it?
that cup.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I figured, Mr. Swanson. I figured.
Come on.
Well, it's Sunday. We're talking football. I mean, if you wake up at 4 a.m., you know, you can have a beer at 10 a.m. That's 6 hours. I mean, you know, if you woke up at 4 a.m., you would have lunch at 10 a.m.
Sunday's my happy day,
It's
chef.
true.
Can't nobody tell me nothing on Sunday. We have the great tilt. We have a great time. I'm drinking. I'm having a good time, and we're gonna talk some fantasy football.
La la la. Wait till I
Yeah.
get my Sunday right.
Right. Dig it.
That's
I
funny.
love it.
It is.
All right, guys. I think that does wrap up the show for this evening. Thank you both for joining, as always, and helping
you,
me
Chef.
run this podcast. It's always a great experience hanging out, and we got a little crazy tonight. Got a little
Halloween.
trick or treaty, a little mischievous mischief night right around the corner. You'll have to go through that and Halloween before you get to us at the Sunday Tilt. We just mentioned that 10 a.m. every Sunday, answering your roster questions. Feel free to write in on Twitter at TIR_pod. I'm James. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Guys can roll it out, and then we'll end this this.
Go ahead, Mr. Swanson.
You guys be safe this weekend. Have a great time. It's Halloween. Make good decisions. Have a great time. Enjoy your costumes. Have a great fantasy weekend. We're excited to have to see you guys on Sunday. So I'll probably say that again. You can find me on Twitter at FFJawn, JAWN Swanson. If you need some intro music for a thing you're doing or whatever it is, then let me know. I'll do some stuff for you. I love being here. You guys are great. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody who was listening. I just got a Charlie horse. Juan, take it
Ooh.
out.
Well, Mr. Swanson sends to his Charlie horse. Thanks everyone for listening. Mr. Swanson is really fantastic with that music. So if you're really serious about that, go hit him up if you need something done for you. He's a great producer, our esteemed executive producer. And I'm Juan Carlos Pena, and I'm at FF One of a Kind. I'll see you guys on Sunday morning with your tilts. In the meantime, you can go to Anchor Podcast and leave a voicemail and leave your message, and we can play that on the air for you.
Oh, yeah.
Or send in your questions ahead of time, and then we'll have them queued up and ready to go, and we'll run them on the show on Sunday, or come on in live. Bring your mimosas, bring your Bloody Marys, Jameson and coffee, whatever you drink, and let's get it.
Let's get it. All right. Thanks, guys. See you Sunday. Peace.
See you on Sunday.
Thank you for listening to the Tilt is Real Fantasy Podcast. Check out our website at thetiltisreal.com for weekly articles, breakdowns, and more. Follow us on Twitter at TIR_pod. We'll see you Tilters next week.